Hello, 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 and welcome back to Chakras and Cusswords podcast. My name is Katherine, and I am your host. I'm so happy that you are here. Welcome back. Today, we are going to talk about, and I'm going to do a reading. That's my singing voice. I don't know. But I'm going to do a reading on the full moon in Scorpio. Woo! We have a full moon that is not tied into an eclipse. Yes, we still have Mercury retrograde going on, okay? For the party poopers in the back, yes, we still have Mercury retrograde going on, but that doesn't mean that we can't create some areas around intentions and get into our full moon magic. Guys, we can create some intentions even though we are in eclipse and the eclipses are over. So we are taking a break from the eclipses. So yes, we are still kind of in our eclipsy season, but we have Mercury retrograde coming to an end. So let's take a moment and create some fun intentions, especially since this full moon is aligned in Scorpio. And babes, full moon in Scorpio just fucking feels beautiful. It just feels very seductive, mysterious. It just reminds me of those old vintage black and white photos. And it just feels like straight charisma and magic is in the atmosphere. I mean, if you're going to manifest and create some rituals, it better be on a fucking full moon in Scorpio. That's all I have to say. Don't let this energy pass you by, because the Mercury retrograde will be ending real soon. It's going to end on April 25th. So it's close enough. Okay? All right. So let's get into this full moon in Scorpio. So the full moon in Scorpio is happening on April 23, 2024. Okay? It's happening at 4 degrees in Scorpio, which means that the sun will be in 4 degrees of Taurus, creating this beautiful illumination of energy that's just going to feed us with pure magic. We also have to remember that Uranus and Jupiter are still in the sign of Taurus, creating a beautiful area of conjunction that's going to make this feel a little bit more magical. Guys, let's get our manifesting shoes on and get our chin up and our back straight. Push out that chest and let's get some intentions going. So this full moon in Scorpio is all about our emotions, okay? We cannot hide the emotions. We cannot hide that energy of the in-depth of our emotional being. It's who we are. We are tied into emotions. I don't care what they say, but emotions can be a very beautiful thing. They can also be a very challenging thing at times too, right? But yes, it is centered around emotions and energies of transformation and healing. And since it is happening in the water sign of Scorpio, everything is a little bit more passionate. And it feels like there's a lot of intense nature and desire aligned with it. Every time I think about the Scorpio, it just brings this energy that feels very centered around the seduction. I just think of dark hues, beautiful reds, burgundies, and blacks, velvet. It just feels so gorgeous. The Scorpio is very delicate. When we look at the Scorpio as a whole, it's very delicate. Somebody could squish a Scorpio, but the Scorpio is so bold and it's silent. You wouldn't hear a Scorpio coming. It's not the Taurus. If a Taurus is coming at you, you're going to hear it. You're going to feel the vibrations. You're going to see it. But a Scorpio is very slick. It's like sleek, and it just kind of moves into the atmosphere where you wouldn't hear a Scorpio coming after you. But the next thing you know, surprise. Also, when I think about Scorpios, I also think of that energy of the psyche where it feels that balance of heightened emotions and a strong urge to devour into the depths of our psyche. What is going on in the mind? How the mind, the emotions, the desires, the areas of transformation and renewal all kind of kick it up a notch. This lunar phase of the moon often really confronts our deepest fears. And it can be scary, right? Like, I hate the fact that sometimes my mind will just wander on some really scary things, some things that are fearful. And it's usually because I am so centered around in love and wanting to almost like control everything, right? That desire of wanting to control, to make sure everything is fine, to make sure that everything's like in the right atmosphere, everything's going good. You know, I don't want to get hurt. I don't want people around me to get hurt. Like, it's scary sometimes, especially when anxiety kicks in, and we have to remember that anxiety and the higher self are two different forms. But sometimes it feels very challenging, right? Letting go of that anxiety. So even though this is happening in the water element of the Scorpio, we still want to remember to keep ourselves rooted and grounded with the root chakra energy. But we are going to look at the other chakras. But when we have this intense emphasis of emotions, secrets, deepest fears, and desires kind of playing tricks with our psyche, we still want to be centered in the root. It's also a time for a interpretation of confronting the shadow aspect, which we have been doing, and we have been really kind of making movement of going forward and confronting our shadow. But when we are in that energy of Scorpio, a lot of things sometimes still feel hidden. You know, the Scorpio's about the secrets. So it's also a time that we take energy of that influence of the secrets and really throw them fucking away. So this is a beautiful time to create energies around release and energies that feel like they're being buried. If there's something that has been coming back and kind of like coming back at you, how do you unbury it and release it? So it is definitely prompting into that area of insight and revelations. Also, it might be a time that sometimes we find out the answer of the secret, even if we've been throwing it away or even if we've been denying it. Sometimes when we think about that full moon in Scorpio, it really emphasizes power and control in transformation, and how can we create our own transformation to have us in our purest and most authentic self and let us feel the most aligned. And I'm going to say, if you are going to manifest on any full moon, this is the full moon that you want to manifest on, because manifesting is also letting go of unhealthy habits and situations. It's not always about just creating areas of soulful energies that feel like they're feeding the ego, right? So manifesting shouldn't be always about personal gain. It should also be about releasing. And with this full moon illumination, it's definitely a time that we're going to kick it up a notch, especially with the energy of Scorpio. Also, we want to embrace the change. And that's what the Scorpio is about. It's about closing the energy of the secrets, letting them go, and embracing the change. So we want to embrace change. And we also want to get connected with our desires because the Scorpio is about intimacy, passion, desires, and that energy that just feels seductive. It just feels so beautiful and magical. So definitely a time to tap into that yin energy, that feminine energy, that almost like that Black Lilith energy, and that energy of passions, desires, and focus on your closest relationship. I mean, I'm not saying don't have a booty call, but definitely make sure you make those connections with somebody that you truly appreciate sharing your energy with. And also take time to look at how emotions can run deep. So if you are in a complicated relationship, what was that Facebook status that they used to have? It's complicated. Like, are you in a relationship? It's complicated. That status used to crack me up because I'm thinking, if you have to put that, why even put anything at all? Just put single, right? Unless you're, I don't know, but that status used to crack me up. I think it's still there. I'm not sure. But anyways, just make sure that you're experiencing these intense connections with people who are worthy of them, I guess you could say. Like I said before, you don't want to create rituals and magic with people who are not worthy with them because it could backfire. You could end up creating this solar connection, this intense energy exchange with somebody who is not worthy of your energy. So be mindful of that. Also, there's times to really look at what's on the surface and what's in the depths, because even though it's in the depths, the surface still sometimes shows hidden agendas and areas that might seem foreseed in some ways. So it's definitely time to embrace change and renewal. So let's look into this reading. And this reading will be off of the Zodiac elements. And if you've listened to my readings before, you definitely know the rhythm and know the routine. I go in the same pattern, but the pattern goes like this. Water signs. No, my bad. Fire signs, water signs, earth signs, and air signs. So I had to create myself this same rhythm so I would remember. So we're going to start, and I just want to remind you guys that you can see the visuals on the YouTube channel or on Spotify. If you just want to listen, that's cool as well. But if you wanted to see the cards, I'm going to put the cards on the visuals so you can see what the cards look like. The decks that I am using today are Crow Tarot deck, and I will be pulling one card from there, and then I will be pulling one card from Starseed. I do want to lighten things up with the oracle, so that's why I'm going to use an oracle. And this is a collective reading, so all readings are done with love and light. Also, I want to remind you guys to check out my Instagram. I just shared a photo about, and I'll be honest, I did not know Winona Ryder, Julia Roberts, and Jodie Foster are all Scorpios. I had no clue. Oh my gosh. I was, searching for photos. I wanted to post like a black and white photo, and I wanted to do it of some celebs. I really like looking at celebrity birth charts, and sometimes I like looking at photos of celebs and tying in some of their quotes or some of their sayings into their birth chart. And I just did share today, so make sure you check that one out. But I was literally saw this photo of them all together, and they are so young. They look like they're just having so much fun. I don't know where they're at, but it's just such a great photo. And so I'm like, I wonder what Zodiac sign Winona Ryder is, because she's like one of my favorites. Oh my God, I loved her in the Heathers, Beetlejuice. I look it up and she's a Scorpio. And I'm like, so cool. Oh my gosh. I definitely am going to post this photo because we're having the Scorpio full moon coming up. So I definitely have to post this photo. So I wonder what sign Jodie Foster is. So look it up. And Jodie Foster is in some amazing movies as well. Like The Accused, Silence of the Lambs. I mean, Jodie Foster's list goes on and on. Panic Room, amazing movies, amazing actress. She's a Scorpio too. I'm like, what? So I'm thinking, 2 Scorpios, and then I could do whatever Julia Roberts Zodiac is. Like in the middle, I was thinking, okay, I'm going to post this and just do, whatever's Julia Roberts. Honey, she is a freaking Scorpio too. I'm like, what is the odds of 3 Scorpios at a party together? All of them are fucking iconic actresses. Like, I was like, this is so amazing. So, of course, I had to post it and I had to put a little thing about, Scorpios. So check that out. That's on my Instagram. But let's get into this reading. So we're going to start with the fire signs. Okay. Here we go. And it's going to be a kind of quick reading, so pay attention. Fire signs. It is time for you to definitely dive into your energy of illumination. No doubt about it. You got to dive into that energy full force. Really create some energy of desires and maybe even some journaling about some of your emotions, but really look at that energy of where you are in your space of intensity. Where are the passions? Where's the energy that's focusing you right now? And take the lead to go for it. Also, this is a time to really embrace that energy of the illumination. You're going to want to look at some areas of release as well, especially around limiting self-beliefs. I also feel like there's a strong tide with the number 7, if that makes any significance to you, but it feels very aligned with the energy that I'm seeing. I'm also seeing that there is a time for you to concentrate on the solar plex chakra and look at that energy of moving forward and moving in a rhythm that feels aligned and moving into a place that feels right with you towards your energy, because you are really magical. And sometimes I think we forget about it. It is crazy. I literally just said I was feeling a strong call about the number 7, and I just picked the 7-star sisters. I've gone into the tale about the 7-star sisters. I'm not going to talk about it again. But the 7-star sisters, it's definitely a time for you to bring creation, 100%, and also expression. So pull that solar plex out and move forward for the fire signs. For the water signs, this is a perfect time for you to look at that energy of justice, for you to look at that energy of what needs to be solved will be solved. Also, to not worry. The universe has your back. I know sometimes we worry about this, but in all honesty, the universe has your back. So don't worry. Look at the space that is for you. Also, I want you to take some time to release. Really release. Create a sacred space. It could be a circle for safety. It could also be resembling maybe areas of the 4 elements if you prefer to do that. But really take in the time to let go of something that doesn't serve you. And if that's areas around a relationship, energies around people creating misfortune or even blindsiding you from certain aspects or doing a lot of mischievous things towards you, I want you to almost create an energy where it feels like you are letting go, letting that place wash away. I would recommend using water since this is going on the full moon in Scorpio, and this is for the water signs, it would be beneficial if you could do an aura cleanse and really let it go. Also, you could write down what it is that you wish to release on slips of paper, and make sure when you fold them to fold them away from you. Also, you can allow yourself to burn them in a safe container. Obviously, we don't want to start any fires. Burn them, but let that energy go and really let that energy remove from holding you, and understanding that justice is coming. And this is also a good time for you to look at how beautiful and courageous you are, and how multifaceted you are, and that there is a unique nature to you, even though at times you don't allow yourself to see that, but that presence is there, and that you are beautiful and you are amazing. And for the water signs, it is a time for you to show not only others, but really show yourself how amazing you are, because you really are beautiful. For the earth signs, and I'm assuming everybody knows what element they are, because I totally forgot to mention it. So, for the earth signs, this is definitely a time where I feel like there could be some conflict. There's also some areas around manifesting, which is really good. But it is a good time for you to really pick up the pace in energies of what it is that you need to renew. What it is that you need to concentrate in the area of renewal. And sometimes that could be very challenging, but it is a good time that you create those intentions. Also, this is a beautiful time for you to address the conflict, for you to address the shadow, for you to address anybody who maybe you feel isn't necessarily feeding that energy completely to a place that feels aligned with you. Also, this is a good time for you as an earth sign to also do some meditations and some visualizations to connect with your inner self and explore the depths of the subconscious. Also, it is a good time for you to really get into that psyche energy and look at the meditative state as an area where not only is it a connection with the subconscious, but it's also a connection with the cosmos. It's also a time for you to let go of old patterns. And one of the best ways of letting go of old patterns is to visualize you in a different area of transformation, in the energy of where it is that you feel aligned with. Also, this is a beautiful time for you to acknowledge your inner earth. So cool that this is for the earth signs. Definitely acknowledge your inner earth, that inner energy of where it is that you feel aligned as a whole. Also, understand that your root chakra is speaking to you. Your root chakra is centered around your areas of vibration. But I also want you to pay close mind to the heart chakra as well. And definitely look at that area of energy around the transformation, around the new beginnings, around the area of letting go, releasing, and the renewal. Also, it is a good time for the earth signs to practice some of their psyche abilities or psychic abilities, and also meditation practices. For the air signs, this is a good time for you to really build energies in the practice, in the ritual, in the energy of feeding and nourishing yourself and also others. This is a beautiful time for you to see that there's connections and there's energy of union with not just you, but a lot of people around you. It's okay for you to indulge in some of your spaces, especially if you've been kind of maybe pushing it back, or you just haven't really been giving yourself that space to indulge and feel aligned with certain aspects. But this is definitely a time that you are going to want to nourish yourself and also others in creating a practice that's centered around the rituals, the daily rituals, using tools such as meditation, incense, to cleanse your space a little bit more frequently. Also, this might be a good time for you to set intentions towards clearing negative energy with aromas, and also maybe do some focused activities such as you could do some yoga. And since you are going to do yoga, you should do the Scorpio yoga practice to engage in the area of the Scorpio, and that targets the hips, and it also targets where emotions are often stored, and it's centered around the lower chakras. So it is a good time for you to pick up that energy towards the root chakra and the sacral chakra. And remember that the Scorpio is a water sign, so a lot of energy around the water element for this full moon for all the zodiacs is beneficial. Also, for the air signs, I want you to know that if you've been feeling like a little homesick or missing somebody, or you've been burying your emotions in the clouds, this is actually a good time for you to reconnect with that energy around the home, also around the energy of the cosmos and what you feel energetically aligned with, and also to take some time to allow that space of moving and transitioning, but also reminiscing on the things that you value the most. And that could be home, loved ones, and friends. For the zodiacs as a whole, as an energy of all of us for this full moon in Scorpio, this is a time that we definitely, if we are doing intentions and releasing and creating areas of renewal and transformation, we have quite many techniques that we can do. We can do a releasing ceremony. We could do meditation, inner work. I do have the shadow meditation up. Also, energy cleansings. Concentrate on these chakras. You're going to want to concentrate on the sacral chakra. If you've been feeling like maybe a little bit too intense, make sure you concentrate on the root chakra. But for the most, it's going to be the sacral chakra, the solar plexus chakra, and also the crown chakra. So those are the chakras that I would say you should work with for this full moon in Scorpio. But in all honesty, it's really where you feel that the balances and imbalances may be with your own personal chakras that you should work with. But definitely make sure to pick on some areas that really feel unaligned around the sacral. For water rituals, try to incorporate some water. That could be a ritual bath, maybe introduce some essential oils or bath salts. Also, you could spend time meditating by some water if you have a fountain, or if there's like a river or something that you can listen to, even rain. What do they call it? Silent noise. You can listen to some silent noise. Really, if you can't get out there and you just don't have water around you, you can also listen to the element of water and kind of cleanse the negativity or areas of hidden misfortunes away. So I want to thank you for listening to this reading, and thank you for listening to this podcast. And I hope everybody has an amazing full moon in Scorpio. Bye.